All righty, guys. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. It is 9:32 on this beautiful Saturday morning. We do have a severe weather risk in place for tonight for portions of northern lower Michigan as well as all of the UP. So, this is going to be a little bit of a briefing as well as a bit of an Aurora update for you guys who want to know about the Aurora potential tonight. We're going to start with the severe weather potential, though. Starting with the risk from the SPC, we do have a level 1 and both level 2 risk there. Level 1 is a marginal risk, dark green color. Level 2 is a yellow slight risk for all of the UP, up where northern, up also for northern lower Michigan from basically about Manistee, Ludington areas, points northward toward Traverse City, up toward Sheboygan, up toward Alpena, and then a slight risk over there toward the Menominee, Escanaba, and Iron Mountain areas. The hazards with this severe risk tonight are going to be number one, large hail, the 15% level 2 risk over there for the western, southwestern part of the UP, then a 5% risk for the central and western part of the UP. Elsewhere, the wind risk is a 5% across the board that extends over into northern lower Michigan, and then all the UP as well in that wind risk. So, what are we expecting? What are the timing and stuff like that? Go ahead and dive into the model here. This is the NAM3 model. It's a little more aggressive looking than the HRRR. We're going to look at both, but here's the NAM3 looking at storms and showers forming tonight, roughly around the 8 p.m. Eastern time frame there for the western half of the UP. Into the evening hours, they start to develop a little bit further, and by probably about 9 or 10 p.m., perhaps, we have a line of storms forming from the UP all the way down through central Wisconsin. Those are going to develop and push eastward across the UP, and they should reach northern lower Michigan by roughly 1 or 2 a.m. tonight. Those will cross northern lower Michigan, and then as of that time frame, they should be on the weakening trend as well. Some gusty winds, though, are possible as those move through. And then elsewhere, further south, we may see a few sprinkles, maybe a few gusty instances of wind. Nothing significant, though, further south if you are not in that marginal risk. The HRRR model shows a bit of a more conservative solution. Here is the latest model run here, looking at the potential for impacts roughly, again, around that 9 p.m., 8 p.m. tonight time frame for the western half of the UP. Doesn't really develop too much of a line, but we do have some of those isolated and scattered showers and storms moving through the UP there, and those do impact northern lower Michigan right around that 2 or 3 a.m. time frame. So main takeaway from this is between 9 p.m. in the western half of the risk zone, and then it should end roughly right around about 5 or 6 a.m. for the eastern half. So between 9 p.m. and we're going to say 5 a.m. is going to be your general time frame for these storms to work through. Now, this is October after all. We're not going to have very humid and hot conditions to fuel these. So the overall risk for these is on the lower side of things, but we do have a lot of cold air above us tonight. So that could support some hail growth development. And that's why you see that 15% hail contour there for portions of southwest UP. But also the 5% there for the west central part of the UP as well. So some large hail definitely possibility. And because this cold front it's more of a potent cold front, we're going to see the chance for these showers to mix some strong winds down to the ground. These storms may not even have much in the way of lightning tonight, but they do have potential to mix some stronger winds to the ground if they can achieve some good updrafts, so to speak. So we'll be watching it. We'll be live here if need be for you guys up there in northern Michigan. Overall risk, again, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. It's not a very concerning, like high risk at all, but the potential is there for both large hail and some gusty winds there for the risk zone. Looking at the further downstate, like I said, we are in a general thunderstorm category all the way down basically to the 94 corridor. But severe weather is not going to be a concern, or shouldn't be a concern, should I say, unless you are well north of Mount Pleasant there in dark green. But wouldn't be shocked. We do have like a rumble of thunder down further south as he's passed through early Sunday morning. It shouldn't be too big of a deal for you guys downstate. Okay. That is your severe weather risk update. Move into an Aurora update tonight. We do still have the potential for statewide aurora. We've been saying it for 2 nights. I know you guys are probably like, hey, it ain't gonna happen now. No, 2 nights, nothing happening. Well, the overall confidence has been highest tonight as we do have expectations of a solar storm arriving. It's probably our best chance of the 3 nights, as one of those solar flares did launch some plasma and charged particles Earth's direction. As a result, we are seeing data rises. We call them proton rises here on our charts. What that indicates is we do have what we call a coronal mass ejection, or all that plasma and charged particles. All that means is it's heading towards our satellite here, known as ACE. And it's measuring those protons going up as that CME gets closer and closer to us. So sometime today into tonight, we do expect arrival of that solar storm. It's a matter of when, not a matter of if at this point. So we're just going to keep an eye on things, watch and wait, cross our fingers. The forecast from the SWPC does indicate G2 and G3 conditions tonight. And for those of you unfamiliar, all that means is basically you can see the aurora as far south. If a G2 storm is verified, we can see it into that red zone. If it's a G3 storm, you're going to see it all the way down into central Indiana and central Ohio. So that means all of Michigan has a chance tonight. So I know questions are going to start rolling in here about cloud cover. Let's go ahead and take a peek at cloud cover tonight using the GEM model. We do have some concern for perhaps some high level clouds filling in West Michigan tonight. Here is the forecast here. The UP looks to be cloudy with all those. Sorry, I gotta get this off the screen. There we go. The black indicates clear skies, the white indicates clouds. So with those storms tonight in the UP, those of you up there further north may not have as much of a viewing window. If you live in the eastern half of the UP early tonight, you may have a brief chance. But excuse me, this cloud cover will push eastward as the night goes on. And then here's midnight. Notice how most of lower Michigan is clear, but that cloud deck is starting to move in. And also the western half of the UP starts to clear out about midnight. So as this cloud deck moves through, it's going to be a matter of where you are in Michigan. So the better chances here, we're going to say western UP have a chance of clearing out early on after midnight. And then also most of downstate, eastern, central, and southern Michigan will remain clear, while northern and western parts of Michigan will have that cloud deck perhaps starting right around that midnight 1 a.m. time frame. That'll push into the state as the evening and morning goes on. This is at 6 a.m. here. We're going to see up there the UP is clear. The northwest corner of Michigan remains clear, and then southern portions of Michigan still have a few clouds, but mostly clear for you guys down there. So that cloud deck will disrupt some of you guys as that pushes west to east. But overall viewing chances, I do think everybody's going to have a shot. It's just going to be a different time frame for each person here in Michigan. So cross your fingers. Statewide aurora is possible. We will be posting updates about it all day long as we have new data. As of right now, we're just watching our charts here, crossing our fingers and hoping it hits sometime this afternoon or evening, because that'd be ideal for tonight. So we'll keep you guys updated on the aurora. So there it is. There's your severe weather forecast and your aurora forecast, all within 10 minutes too. Kept it short. Pop open the comments here, start you guys all out. See, Joel's in here. Good morning, Joel. We got Caden, Lucy, Tommy, Axe, Cindy, Julie, Bubbles, Ronnie, Alan. What's up, guys? Good morning. If you guys got questions, feel free to pop those in chat. We can hang out here for a few minutes, but otherwise, we're good to go. No problem, Crystal and Mickey. Appreciate you guys. Good morning, Christina. Yes, be sure to smash a like button. Time frame for tonight for severe weather, 9 p.m. in the western half of this zone. So over here from basically Houghton to Marquette, and then this area over here, about 9 p.m. or so for you guys. Over here, though, towards Sault Ste. Marie, Sheboygan, Alpena, you guys are looking probably closer to 3 or 4 a.m. So 9 p.m. over here, 5 a.m. over here, and anywhere between is going to be between those time frames. If anything does happen to go severe, we will be here live. We may be dual streaming Aurora and severe weather coverage, but we'll be live. What's up, Drew? Drew was out all night last night in northern Michigan waiting for the Aurora. That did not happen. Well, it did happen for him very faintly, but we never had the arrival of that solar storm. So he drove a good ways up there, and he missed out. So hopefully, I don't know, Drew, what your plans are tonight, but hopefully we can redeem ourselves tonight.
Our fingers are crossed.
We are hoping for 3 days of potential, as we did have potential for 3 days, but sometimes, and this is very common with Aurora, it's not exact. You know, these forecasts. If you think weather's unpredictable, check out the Aurora. I mean, this isn't anybody's fault, but it's just a matter of limitations of technology. We can't really accurately get a handle on things sometimes. Janelle asks, "What is the cloud cover looking like for Sunday night? Because Aurora should still be going on more than just Saturday." Good point there, Janelle. So Sunday night, we're going to be looking at mostly cloudy conditions for the UP, and again, Western Michigan, more so cloud cover on Sunday night than tonight. So if you're in East and South Michigan, you may have a good chance of some clearing there. But the later we get into Sunday night, it looks like it does start to clear out, maybe thin out some clouds there. But to start the night, definitely some cloud cover there for the UP and most of western, perhaps central parts of Michigan as well.
Yeah, a lot of lake effect clouds there as this upper level low moves down. It's bringing a lot of cold air over those warmer lake waters, so you get a lot of cloud cover begins to develop there. So
I would say check back perhaps tomorrow on that because we're likely going to have some changes as far as the exact locations of clouds. We're still about 48 hours out from that, or about 36 now. So nothing's exact just yet, but do expect some clouds to linger. Nikki, we actually have done that already, and we will be doing that in the future. Christina says, new to Michigan from Texas. Well, welcome to Michigan, Christina. Glad to have you here. Says, loving the northern lights that we've been getting. This is a treat up here, especially northern Michigan. They see the Aurora a lot up there in the UP. Not very often do we get it downstate, south of, we're going to say Mount Pleasant. That's when we start getting people excited when we get, south of Mount Pleasant. So fingers are crossed. It's been a pretty active year so far. We are in solar maximum, which is the peak of the 11-year solar cycle. So that means activity is heightened and will remain heightened into 2025 as well. So we are set for the next couple of months here for the Aurora. We're going to have multiple chances. It's a possibility, Jess. Definitely a possibility. Most of the naked eye Aurora potential comes when we call substorms happen. Basically, the Aurora goes through its cycle. Even when the Aurora is happening, it goes through like these cycles where it builds energy and it kind of explodes and it kind of retreats and weakens. It's never exact every single night. That's what makes Aurora so hard to catch. Sometimes it can only happen for 10 or 15 minutes at a time, and then it goes away for 2 or 3 hours. Sometimes it can dance all night. A lot of things go into this. So, Jas, the answer to your question is it's a possibility. We're not going to really know those details until it actually hits, though, and we see the data in front of us as it's happening, because that's when we can get really down and dirty, so to speak, and get specific with as far as what we're thinking of timing and stuff like that. When will temperatures start dropping for good? Summer asks. So after this week, we're going to be looking at highs in the 60s. So this is probably one of the last weeks we're going to have, so to speak, warm temperatures. We're going to be back into the fall pattern here very, very soon.
Again, it's as we are in October now, it's harder to get these warmer temperatures the further north you are. So our days with highs in the 70s are definitely numbered, definitely limited. Not saying it won't happen again, but those days are going to start becoming far and few between seeing those temperatures up here. So even last night, it got down. Gaylord even recorded some record lows last night, down into the mid 20s for places. So I saw 25 as the winner last night. Up in Roscommon, 25 as a low last night. That's getting down there. That's pretty cold.
And we did post a few days ago about some frost potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that'll continue here over the next few weeks as well, as we get these cold fronts bringing in that colder air from the north. Cold air is a lot denser than warmer air, so it likes to sink down towards the surface and the ground. It likes to stay there until the sun comes up and mixes the air and mixes that out. So you can get some colder temperatures, especially in valleys and stuff like that. So It is definitely that time of year.
It's crazy too because we're talking about severe weather while we're talking about frost at the same time for roughly the same area too. So
Welcome to Michigan.
welcome to Michigan. Yep.
That'll definitely help bring out some color in the trees, though. These as these cooler nighttime temperatures get down there,
Mm-hmm.
should start seeing a lot more color here over the next couple weeks. Already some oranges and beautiful satellite pictures coming from the UP of showing a lot of color up there. So definitely excited for that.
I'm actually gonna get a post up here real quick about the low temperature here because that's I think probably one of the lowest temperatures we've had this year so far.
That's getting down there. Mid-20s is pretty cold for this time of year. Doesn't happen very often. Even for up there, that's pretty cold. Fish says sunburn to frostbite in a matter of hours. Yeah, welcome to Michigan. What's the winter prediction for this year? Well, we're still a little ways out on that yet. Cody, we will have a winter update here coming up here in the coming weeks. Still some data to go over. What I can tell you though right now, based on trends, we are trending towards a La Nina winter to maybe a neutral by spring. So what that means is typically, historically, and climatologically speaking in those setups, you have a wetter than average winter as well as a chance for cooler temperatures. But not all La Nina winters are the same. So there's still a lot of that data to go over and analyze before we can publish a 24-25 winter outlook. But we are looking into that and we are analyzing that. We just need a little bit more time to lock in some numbers. So
we'll have that out here. We keep saying we have said in the past about the first or so week of October, but we're waiting on a few more things to fall into place where we kind of lock that in.
mm-hmm.
You know, forecast models and long-term models are still kind of bouncing around a little bit. So we strive for accuracy. We don't strive to be first. So we're trying to get our ducks in a row, so to speak, before we bring a forecast to you guys.
Yep, but one is in the works, so don't worry. We will have one for you. We just need more time to see that data come in.
Cecil, are you talking about the Aurora or severe weather? If you're talking severe weather, no concern down in Jackson. If you're talking about the Aurora, we're going to stay statewide as possible tonight. We're just waiting on data to show up. We covered this also in the first 10 minutes or so of the video. We're watching data right now kind of fill in. We're just kind of waiting for impact at this point or the arrival of the solar storm. Now, I will say, as for those of you guys watching here, if we want a good timing for tonight, we want to see an arrival roughly late afternoon, early evening, so it has a chance to build. Solar storms can last for 12, 24 hours sometimes or longer. So if it hits, we're going to say roughly 5 or 6 p.m., it can build for 2 or 3 hours into sunset. That will be optimal. If we get an early arrival, like right now, for example, we may be a little bit more uncertain of how tonight's going to come. So if we have an arrival this afternoon or evening, that's going to be best for us.
Yeah, Jessica asked, is the Aurora seasonal at all or the same year or all year round? Thanks for all you do. Really good question there. Really, it can happen all year round. It can happen any time of the year. The sun is not limited to our seasons here on Earth. The reason we see it more commonly into wintertime, a couple of things. One, the Earth is tilted away from the sun, so we have more nighttime hours to work with. The Aurora is only visible at night. And we also have cooler temperatures as well. That allows a drier air mass above us. So in other words, the sky is a lot clearer and easier to see in the wintertime. But we can get it all year round. It just really depends on when the sun decides to pop off a flare with a CME and when that energy is aimed at Earth. And if you think about it, I mean, we are a tiny speck in space and the sun is 93 million miles away. So it'd be like trying to shoot a target the size of a speck of dust, 100 yards away. It's pretty difficult to do when you think about it. So, and it's another reason why this data and this science is really hard to get, just because of you're talking about space and Earth. So there's a lot of room for error there. So Not an exact science yet.
Also, just want to add one point to that. We are in solar maximum,
Mhm.
so that's also why we're seeing a lot more of the aurora as well. And it's an 11-year cycle. So if we flip flop this and go 10 years into the future, we're not going to have much activity at all. So enjoy. If you guys want to see the aurora, enjoy your chances while you have them, because it's going to be a gradual decline into minimum. Caitlin, you're going to be fine there. At very most, maybe some rain, perhaps a rumble of thunder. But overall, we're not concerned for severe weather down this far south. What does being at solar max mean, Alicia? So again, the maximum and minimum are part of the solar cycle. It's an 11-year cycle. All that basically means is at the maximum, the activity, the sunspots, the solar flare activity on the sun is at a peak. So that's what we're in right now. Whereas minimum is very little activity, like very little sunspot regions, very little flare activity. So it's just a common cycle it goes through. That makes sense. All right. Any other questions, guys, about the severe threat or the aurora chances tonight? I have not, Mickey. I have not seen how the animals are acting for the winter, but they can be a good indicator. They can be sometimes.
All of the UP is still in a red flag warning tonight, Chris, or through this afternoon. Combination of drought conditions, really dry ground cover, low humidity values throughout the day today before this cold front arrives. The cold front and the rain may help minimize that a little bit, but you're still going to have some really gusty winds before and after the cold front. So, again, if you're in the UP today, burning is not advised at all today, just because of the low humidity values, low dew point values. That'll allow fire to spread very easily and very quickly. So please do not burn if you're in the UP today.
Yeah, and long term, I don't think this rain tonight is going to put a big dent into the drought conditions.
No,
So you're
we're not
likely going
looking
to.
at a large amount of rainfall. It may help mitigate that for tonight and tomorrow a little bit, but long term, we're still looking at drought conditions up there and really drier air mass coming after this front as well. So.
We're not going to know that joy until we see an arrival of our solar storm. But the chances there for all of Wisconsin, as well as all of Michigan, even parts of Ohio, Indiana, with Illinois and Iowa. So the entire Great Lakes region really does have a chance tonight, but we have to see the solar storm arrive first.
Yep, just kind of a waiting game right now. We can see the data on how we know something's coming. We just don't have it arriving yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not here yet. So right now we're just waiting on that initial impact. Once we have that impact and have that data, we'll have a little bit more of an understanding of what we're working with here and what we may end up seeing. So right now it's just a waiting game. So what Ryan has pulled up there is ACE. This is what our proton risings are doing. Really what this means is they rise ahead of an approaching CME or solar storm. As that instability is building, we know something's coming, but we haven't had that spike or that impact yet. So these are still going to rise until we see that impact. So all we know is it's coming. It's just not here yet. So
in summer, this is data off ACE satellite. We have a couple satellites orbiting in space. It's about 1 million miles away from us here on Earth. That's the closest point of data we have to Earth. So data from ACE satellite takes about an hour or so to translate to Earth. So we're going to see impact on ACE satellite. We're going to know within the hour that solar storm is going to hit us. That's about as much advance warning as we get with this. And Joel has a good point here in chat that lightning could start fires. That is a good point there, Joel, although I don't think there's going to be a lot of lightning tonight. There may be a few strikes, but overall, I don't think we're going to have too much lightning to worry about. But that's a very good point, though. Hopefully, we don't have any wildfires starting from lightning.
Any other questions you have here, guys, about the severe weather risk tonight or Aurora? Caitlin, so damaging winds and large hail are the risk here tonight, mainly from that 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. time frame. Probably the area for the biggest hail risk is probably there across southwest lower UP, northern Wisconsin. That's where storms are initially going to fire. They have the potential to have the greatest updrafts there. So, with that being said, that area there would have the biggest risk for hail. Outside of that, in the green area or the marginal level 1 out of 5 risk, we do expect the damaging wind risk to carry into the northern part of lower Michigan tonight. We do expect storms to fire along an advancing cold front sometime between the 8 and 9 p.m. hour this evening. And as that cold front progresses from northwest to southeast, it'll carry that line of storms with it. With that being said, really north of Mount Pleasant, maybe some gusty winds, perhaps a strong to severe thunderstorm along with that line along the cold front. But areas south of Mount Pleasant, we aren't really expecting too much in the way of anything down there tonight. Maybe some showers, maybe perhaps a brief gusty wind, but no severe weather is expected in the lower half of Michigan tonight.
And possible wind speeds are going to be up to 60 miles per hour. Most of the storms will have gusty winds, probably between 30 or 40, maybe 50 at times, and then isolated gusts to 60.
Yep.
All right. I don't see any more questions here. It's been about a half hour or so. So I think we're going to be good to pop off here. We'll have updates on both severe threats and Aurora risks tonight. So stay tuned, or throughout the day, should I say. So stay tuned to our Facebook page. We'll have updates posted throughout the day. So with that being said, we're going to pop out of here. I don't see more questions rolling in. So with that being said, we'll catch you guys next time here, and it will be live if any severe weather happens this evening in Michigan.